Yeah.
All right, good evening. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for everyone for, we had a little bit of delay, a little bit of technical difficulties getting us online. This is all being viewed through the internet that you could go on and watch online later tonight by clicking on it and watch the meeting being placed. I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. If I could have roll call, please.
Shannon,
Here.
Leek,
Here.
Hancy,
Here.
Leek,
Here.
Edwards. Here. Cavazos. Here. Day.
Here.
We're going to start out a little bit unusual. We're going to go ahead and start with our Pledge of Allegiance. We have Den Cub Scout Troop 42 representing the Buckland Mills and Haymarket Elementary. So we're going to have you guys do our Pledge of Allegiance. So if we could all stand, remove hats up for the beginning. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have the privilege tonight to have Pastor Mark Brady from Park Valley Church to give our invocation this evening. Pastor, you can just tell us a little bit about the church, and then we'll all stand to hear your word.
You know, it's always an honor and privilege to be here with you folks, and Mayor Lee, just thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your friendship. It means a lot to myself and to our church, and to the council. Thank you for your leadership and what you're doing for our community, and for Chief Lance. Thank you for everything you do, serve and protect us. And you know, living in Dominion Valley, I've been here 15 years. I love being a part of this community. I came from a small community in Southern California called Santa Clarita. It reminds me so much of this community. My dad was a local bookkeeper in town, so we knew all the merchants. And we didn't have a stoplight in town growing up as a kid, and now it's probably close to 900,000 people just outside of Los Angeles. Just amazing. But I see a lot of characteristics, some good qualities because of you folks in this great town, and I'm thankful for that. And I just want to share with you what's going on in the church. Our church is just growing. For some reason, God's shown us favor. And it's nothing we could do as pastors of our church. We just keep it simple. We persuade people through love to follow Jesus, and that's it. And we found there's a great need in our community for hosting funerals. So we just opened our church up for the community to use our church at no charge for funerals, memorial services. So we want Park Valley Churches to be that church for you all, and to host the after service with free food for the families that are hurting after a funeral service. And churches have been blowing up in that respect. And some things that we find in ministry that, you know, we're hurting people. We all struggle. And I think if we can realize how much we all struggle, then we can move on from there. So because of people's struggles, we have Celebrate Recovery. We have Grief Share. We have Divorce Care. We have Financial Peace. We have Art of Marriage. So God has just opened just different avenues just to help people in our community. And I feel so blessed to be a small part of that. And from the bottom of my heart, Judy and I love you guys, and if there's anything we can do for you personally, we're here for you guys. And just thank you for the opportunity. So that's Park Valley Church. And I was here last night at 7 o'clock. The doors were kind of dark. I go, oh man, did I miss it? Was it last week? Thank the Lord I didn't miss it. So I don't want to let you guys down. I want to be a pastor that keeps his word. So anyway, let's pray. God, I thank you for tonight. I thank you for what you're doing in our community. And Lord, I pray for every council person here, and for our mayor, and for the staff of this town council, God, that you would just give them wisdom, give them a heart for people that I see already. Lord, I pray a blessing upon their families, Lord, that you would protect them and keep them safe and healthy, God, that you would just watch out for us. And Lord, as this community grows, there's going to be so many great needs, and I just pray that the churches can just, you know, walk alongside our council and just be there for them when they need the help. And I thank you, Lord, for the opportunity that you've given Park Valley Church. And it's not from the pastors, it's not from the people, it's basically you that's entrusted to us to have a ministry in the middle of this town, God. We just thank you for that. So bless everyone here in this room tonight, Lord, that you'd watch over us and that we would make the right decisions that would be pleasing to you. And just protect this body here. And God, I'm just so thankful for just having a little part of being in something so great and so big. So God, we love you and we thank you. We give you all the praise in your son's name. Amen.
Amen.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you,
for
Pastor.
coming.
Absolutely. Our next item on our agenda is our citizens' time. We'll open it up for citizens' comment. Coming up to the podium, if you can just give your name and address for the record.
I'm going first because I need to go eat dinner. All right. My name is Paula King, and my address is on record. I'm a confused Town of Haymarket resident. I'll get back to that in a minute, but first I want to thank Councilman Leek and, is it Cavazos? Am I saying that right? Thank you. I want to thank both of you because I feel like the two of you really listened to your constituents last month, and I appreciate that. As far as why I said I'm a confused Haymarket resident, because I can't follow the trail of what's happened over the last few months. There have been SUP votes, vetoes, demo permits, proposed, more swirling through this 1 square mile than I can keep up with. Please, would someone explain to me what has been approved, what hasn't, what is historical, what isn't? Is this a walking town? Is it not? I'm confused. And I'm not the only one. I'm hearing this from neighbors. Where are we going? I hope that that's answered at some point this evening. At the August meeting, I pleaded with you to please listen to the residents. Many of you wrote in your town council bios that your goals included representing the residents. What happened? You had the opportunity to represent the residents and you failed to do so. Perhaps you'll have another opportunity depending on what happens with this veto. I don't know, but again, I'm confused. I'm confused because the town planner told us to go and look at another Milledon development. I did. It doesn't remotely resemble what they want to do here. I'm confused. The tone that Milledon set forth during the August meeting was threatening. It was menacing. The developers don't live in town. We do. The developers won't have a hard time getting out of their neighborhood. We will. Why did most of you bend over backwards for a developer whose tone is menacing towards the town residents? And if that wasn't their intention, then it should be dialed back. I'm starting to wonder, why are we a town at all? Since I moved to Haymarket in 2004, I was told it's good to live within the town limits because we have a say in the development. Sure doesn't feel like it right now. Since most residents asked the town council to deny the special use permits and it fell on deaf ears. If the council continues to ignore their constituents, I believe we would be better off dissolving the town charter and be absorbed by Prince William County. Historically, Haymarket was known as the Crossroads. Looks like the council chose to be a restaurant off of 66. It is true we don't have control over what Prince William County approves outside of the town limits. However, we did have a say over what was approved within this 1 square mile. Town council, you had a choice, and most of you made it abundantly clear you are unwilling to listen to your constituency. To say I'm disappointed is a gross understatement.
And thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Thank you, council members. Marshawn Schneider, 14811 Rising Sun Lane, Haymarket. Briefly, I was reminded today that I'm wearing pink after Labor Day, so it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so hopefully I'll compensate for that. Wanted to come and address the council tonight regarding a number of public comments that have been made before you, the Planning Commission, and the ARB with regard to previous land use decisions and also capital improvement projects. Specific to my tenure as town planner and zoning administrator, many people made very clear that they disagree with a lot of my decisions, but some of those comments do give me pause. Some comments associate me with actions that predate me even being a resident of the town. Other comments associate me with actions for which the zoning administrator would have no role or responsibility. And the more troublesome comments relate to, if they're to be true, then it would either be unethical or illegal for me to have done so. So because of this, I would respectfully ask that before you make decisions, or if you're inclined to make decisions based on these comments, that you, including my comments, please have the town staff verify the information so that you have the most accurate information before you when you make a decision. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir. Anyone else like to address the council? All right, moving on. Our next is our approval of minutes. This is from our September 4th regular scheduled meeting.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve our September 4th, 2018 regularly scheduled meeting minutes.
There you go.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor. Discussion on the motion?
One point. It
Absolutely.
says means being absent September 4th. I believe I was here.
No, you were here.
Did you come late?
I came late. I was
Yeah.
about-
Yeah, that's
So
it.
that's just for the minute approval. Call to order.
It says 7:40.
Yes.
Yep.
So
I've
farther
got,
down.
I've got present. Page
Well,
1.
within that, then I'm fine.
Okay. Any further discussion on the motion?
Just want to thank the clerk, Ms. Shelley, for putting these together. It was a lengthy meeting. It was a very cumbersome meeting in regards to the way motions were going, this and that, so I know it was not probably the funnest minute packet to put together, but she did an outstanding job, and just make sure that, I'll make sure that we reach out to her and say thank you for, on behalf of the Dias, for putting that together.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstained? Motion carries unanimously. Next item is our department reports. Chief Lands. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are y'all? Are there any questions on the statistics for the month of September? Okay. Got a couple things to go over. We had a lot of meetings this month. We made a lot of progress with the community and with our law enforcement partners. So we started off at the VACP. I attended the conference there, the annual conference. They did a lot of sessions on liability for police departments and community policing. I got a lot of good information from there that I'll bring back and institute here. Then we had the hurricane that came through. Just want to touch on the hurricane prep that we had for at least the police department side. We had a lot of briefings with Prince William County's EOC department. They activated the EOC, and we had briefings. Myself, the mayor, and the town manager were on there almost every day at 1 o'clock, I think it was, just keeping everybody up to date. That was very helpful, and they're going to continue to do that from now on. We updated the staffing for each of the weekend days. Turns out we didn't need to do that, but we had everybody in place and ready to go. One of the main things we did was get the PD on generator power. The generator that we bought last year to help out with Haymarket Day, we were able to hook up a interlock switch and a plug out back where we can plug it into a separate panel that'll run just the PD, everything in the PD, and then some lights over here in case we ever need to use this as a shelter, or in case town staff is in here one day when the power goes out. That's something that was very much needed. I'm glad we got that situated, and we appreciate that happening. We also had an EOC meeting where they got some new emergency operation center personnel over at Prince William, and they have begun a partnership with all the towns and the county to have representatives there on a quarterly basis to discuss emergency operations events, something we didn't have in the past, something that's greatly needed. We look forward to being good partners with them and learning the information that they have that they can pass on to us. I also attended a Northern Virginia Chiefs meeting, just a meeting with all the chiefs in Northern Virginia to discuss what's going on in all the departments and things that are happening that affect us down here. And then finally, Prince William County, the police chief, decided to start a quarterly chiefs meeting that happens with all the towns in the county and the county police department. It was well attended, and we had a great time, mostly just introducing everyone, going over everyone's background, introducing the towns, what our needs were, and we were able to network together and find things that we could help each other with. I really like this. I think it's going to be a great quarterly meeting. It opens up communication with the big dog on the block, which is Prince William County Police Department, and they took input from all the towns. We have been meeting, the town police chiefs have been meeting monthly leading up to this, so we're a pretty strong team, and we kind of went there as a group saying this is what we need from you guys, and they were more than willing to open up to us. I think it's going to be great. So partnerships this month, something that we didn't have in the past that is really opening up well here. Last thing I have is the Breast Cancer Walk. Please come out and support that this coming Saturday. We've got sponsorship by State Farm. They're going to sponsor the food and the hydration tents. And we've got a great route. We've got 74 people signed up so far, so almost triple what we had last year, so that's great. So please come out and support us if you can. It's going to be a great time, and all proceeds will be donated to Inova Cancer Center, where they help breast cancer victims. And then the officer highlight I have is during the hurricane prep, Sergeant Shaver and Officer O'Neill were amazing. They set up all the boards. They put out all the information to the officers. They got all the supplies we needed. I was out of town at the Chiefs Conference for the first half of the week, and they were constantly getting things together. So I just like to recognize those two for their hard work through the prep. I could tell you wholeheartedly that if there's a situation that comes up in this town, this department can handle it. They did a great job. So, is there any questions of anyone? That's all I have.
Looks like we're going to have good weather.
Yeah.
Maybe a shower in the end, because it's Sunday, right? The Breast Cancer Awareness Walk.
That's Saturday.
It's Saturday? That's even better.
Saturday at 9.
High 65 and sunny. That's a nice
It's
day.
good walking weather.
Looking forward to it.
Other question for the chief? Councilman Leak?
Chief, as you did last year and you continue to do this year, I love the Going Pink, the badges, the cars, everything that you all have done to bring awareness. Thank you for doing that again this year. I agree with you. The hurricane prep, it was a great dry run, and it was great to be able to see how, excuse me, how we would interact and coordinate with Prince William County. So even though you put a lot of time and effort into it, I don't think it was wasted for the mere fact that it was a great dry run. Learning experience for all of us on how we'll be able to communicate with other folks in regards to a natural disaster. Just want to say thank you to you and the officers as we read news headlines and officers being killed in the line of duty. It just we're so thankful, and we have heavy hearts for the job that you all do to protect and serve us as constituents and residents within this town. We can't thank you enough for everything that you and the officers do on a daily basis to protect and serve us. How's your new hiring go?
I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that. So we've done several interviews last week, and actually today we did 2 more interviews. I think we found a gentleman we're going to move forward with, but we're going to do the last couple of things, and then I should be able to introduce a new officer next month to you guys. And just to be clear, this is Officer Anderson stepped up from a part-time into a full-time role when we were down one officer. He helped out because I asked him to. He would rather be part-time. He's going to step back down into the part-time role, which is a dedicated amount in the budget. It doesn't go up or down. It's whenever we need them, and when we run out of those hours, then we don't have any more part-time. So budget doesn't change. Everything's the same. 6 full-time guys. I'll just end up having 2 part-time guys, and both the part-time Randy and Officer Nugent, great guys, retired, long-term police officers. They're great additions to the department, and they give me peace of mind because whenever I ask them to come in, they will come in. So should have something new to announce to you guys next month.
Beautiful. So with that being said, I'm glad that I don't want to say I'm glad, but I'm glad that that you took the time to make sure you found someone who best fit this department. As you've been looking for a while now, you didn't just hire the first name that came in. I'm glad that you touched on it, that it's not an additional officer that we're adding to the force. It's simply moving a full-time gentleman down to a part-time and bringing in someone to take that full-time. And if we were going to be a stickler, which we're not, but the only thing that may change in the budget is, per se, if the gentleman or lady who came in at that point maybe took a family plan over an individual plan in regards to the health care, that cost may go up, correct?
Correct.
Outside of that, no effect to the budget. No further.
Any other comments?
No, echoing Councilman Lake and Mr. Shannon, you always do a great job in here, and so thank you for your service.
All right. No further comments? All right. Thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, we don't have our business manager here. Pardon me? Sure, yeah, yep.
Good evening, council and mayor. I'll give a couple updates in place of Jerry. As we all know, Haymarket Day was moved to October 20th, so we're about a little under 2 weeks out. Everything is going to be set final again with the vendor layout. We had a couple who needed refunds because they can't make the new date. And since rain or shine doesn't quite cover hurricane, we were honoring those refunds. And I still have a wait list of more vendors, so we have filled all of the spaces and we didn't lose money in that aspect. There are a couple things that did change that will cost a little bit more, so we're working through that. Roberto and I are going to work on all that for the budget and then how it affects our Christmas event. Other things in the staff report, this past 2 weekends ago actually, on September 29th, we reopened the Haymarket Museum as the Arts at the Haymarket Museum. Our first local artist was in the space, had an opening reception, and it was very well attended. Within the first half hour, we had at least 30 people come in, so I felt that was very successful on our part. She will be here for about 8 weeks. I encourage everyone to stop by and just see how the space is transformed. And I still have up a nice little historic display in the front lobby, and I look to change that out each month and tell a new story of our town history. Right now it's actually on the building, so as people go in and want to learn more, they can learn more about the building. Once Haymarket Day comes, we'll have 2 additional artists, so definitely be sure to check that out. And then we did go live with our new website, and we also sent out our town newsletter, so hopefully everyone received those in the mail and was able to read through them and enjoy them, and then hopefully you've had a chance to look at the new website. Of course, we know that it's not going to be perfect the first time we launch, so we are working on some minor changes, and we'll continue to do updates as they come across. So,
Great.
Is that all from staff?
And the museum, what hours are they looking to?
Oh, so right now, our artist, Carrie Molina, is in there on Thursdays from 11 to 1, on Fridays 11 to 1, and then Sunday 1 to 3. And she'll have her board out front, and then anytime you see the open flag, she's there.
Great. Okay. Other questions for the staff report? We also, I thought we were going to talk maybe the treasurers too, since just to see if there's any other questions or comments.
I just had some comments, not really questions. I have a couple questions, I'm sorry. Haymarket Day, that was a smart move. I know we called it early, which was a great job. I'm not sure who made that decision, but whoever did, great job. As we then saw come Tuesday, when we called it on Monday, it decided to go way south and ended up having, I think, decent weather that weekend. But I think it was a smart decision to call it early. And I think we had great feedback from, even on our online social media, a lot of folks were saying, hey, good job, great work with doing that. So way to do that early. And just staff, thank you for all your hard work that you've done putting into doing this. I know, Emily, you've been carrying the bulk load, but I know Roberto, Shelley, Jerry, Jackie, everyone's been busy with being able to move such a large event within such a short period of time. And I know Vice Mayor's been up here diligently helping out as well, and just we can't thank you all enough for the time and effort that you've all put in to be able to continue this event and move that forward. Another one, the new website, again, great work. I think Vice Mayor had put in a boatload of hours into that as well. No? I knew that you were giving a lot of input because I didn't have any input to put in, so I don't know if anybody else had input to put in. Thank you for doing it because I wasn't able
Just
to.
took a long time.
Yeah, but thank you for the dedication to make sure that we did it and we did it right. And as you stated, there's definitely going to be things that we changed, but you
And the
never
colors
know.
look good, too.
Yeah, it's
That was
good
the
stuff.
worst, don't even.
The SUP for McDonald's for a second drive-through lane, that's going to the planning commission
Yes,
when?
we're setting a public hearing for later in the month. We're working on getting a forum with the planning commission right now.
Okay, so it's most likely going to be in October?
Yes, we're tentatively looking at October 29th as long as we can have our forum.
Awesome. How's the comp plan coming along with the planning commission?
Several of the commissioners have given me their comments and requests for our work session that we'll have in October, so I'm compiling information for them so we can start working on the first section that we are gonna do is background and short transition.
Okay, beautiful. And then any issues in regards to permitting in the county and town? Everything's still running smooth?
Everything's still running smooth. We're still having a couple people who are just new to the process calling us saying, I need a zoning letter. I'm down here at the county, so I've done what I can to kind of act right then and there to help them out and make it a smooth process. And then after they get what they need, we kind of talk about the process and next time, come to me first. And
Yeah.
so it's working out. I know, I think at the last meeting we announced it, but I know A Dog Stay Out has finally received all theirs, so they're well on their way, and everything's gone through that. I know we had a couple hiccups there.
Beautiful. No further.
Any further about the business manager report? Just one other thing, the CIP, Planning Commission?
Yes, the Planning Commission will start working on that. That's going to also be in our discussion for the work session we have scheduled in October.
Great, super. Okay. No further, we'll continue on our agenda here. Just treasury report. Money's good, right? We're still in the black?
Yeah, everything's looking as it should be.
Great, you getting ready to send bills out?
Yeah, this week, I'll be seeing the real estate taxes will be going out, so that'll definitely change. In the October reports, when it comes to the income, you'll see that. Right now, I've just been dealing with a lot of residents coming in, some not understanding how it works, meaning that they need to contact their mortgages to let them know there's a bill, and others just wanting to get assurance that it's a one-time bill type of thing for the town.
Good, okay, great. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our next item is our ordinance 2018-001, our meals tax-free weekend. We're on page 34 of our packet with a draft recommended motion, if I remember correctly.
Mayor, I move that Haymarket Town Council approve ordinance 2018-001 meals tax-free weekend for October 20th and October 21st, 2018.
I second the motion.
Okay, motion's been seconded. Discussion on the motion? Roll call vote, please.
Shannon?
Yes.
Leek?
Yes.
Hanthy?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Cavazos?
Yes.
Day?
Yes.
All right, great, thank you. Our next item is our bond release, and we're on page 35 of our packet for Alexander's Keep. And we have a draft motion as well at the bottom of the page.
I move that the town council release the performance bond for Alexandra's Keep.
Second by Shannon. Any discussion on the motion? We'll go roll call vote, please.
Shannon?
Yes.
Leek?
Yes.
Hanthy?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Cavazos?
Yes.
Day?
Yes.
Great. Our next item, our Haymarket Historic Foundation funding. So in our work session, we briefly talked about that. As for the listening audience, and I say I've worked on this probably for the last, I can't even remember. It's been probably years of trying to release the money that was in a dormant fund that the foundation was disorganized, or not disorganized, but dissolved. And this, to receive the funds back into the town for the purpose of what they were intended for. There were a lot of people that had donated for specifically the Washington Street enhancement, where whether or not you're purchasing a pole or a trash can or anything that enhanced trees. And for such funding or donations, then you got your name either on a plaque, on a bench, or beside a tree. So we finally got that money. We got it deposited. That was several weeks ago. Total of about $21,000 comes to mind that had been sitting in this account. So we were able to deposit that, and as we've been recommended, that we actually need to appropriate this money to then to be able to spend it accordingly. I think if we keep with the intent of the resolution that was in the foundation, I think we would honor their original request that that this is for the Washington Street enhancement. So we have a couple different motions, and go ahead and I'll let the town planners speak about that, of your thoughts of how to best appropriate this and then be able to fund these.
So several ideas for appropriating the funds. I think we should include, rather than just saying the Washington Street streetscape or enhancement, we should specifically say, first and foremost, finishing off all of the plaques that were originally planned for the streetscape infrastructure. That includes the existing benches we have. I think there's one or two that are missing a plaque. The street lights, as well as several of the trees. So I, myself, and Shelley will be working on finding that list and checking off what we currently have up and what we still need. Then the next item, the trees and landscaping along the streetscape. As you guys know, when you drive through town, we had several trees leaning in the road, as well as quite a few missing that have died or just were never put in when the sidewalks were finished. So this is another item. And then lastly, I'd like to recommend the banners. We have 2 seasons that we still need to purchase, approximately 50 of each, the winter and the spring banners. And then we will have 4 complete sets for every season so that all of our street lights will match.
Okay. So I guess the discussion is if there's any objection to those proposed uses for that. To give you some raw math, we've gotten some proposals on trees. If we were to replace the missing ones and replace to make them uniform, for example, like Haymarket Station, Foster's Building, several areas in town have the large crepe myrtles. So as we replace these missing ones with the, say if we did do this same style tree throughout the town, you're talking about half the money, maybe anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000, $11,000. The plaques, I think you're probably talking another $1,000. So not sure what the banners go for, but
It's about,
Roughly to finish the 2 sets, we're probably looking at about 5,000.
yeah.
so I guess another question of mine would be, are we going to, who's going to make the decision about the trees? Should we go with something, I know our landscape people have said that crepe myrtles are the hardest thing to kind of help grow. We're as far north as you can to have a healthy crepe myrtle in this town, and well, if they do well, they look nice. Should we go with something different? Should we go, I mean, we do have a list of approved trees and trees from the Journey Through Hallowed Ground that we recommend to our people that come in, developers, individual people. Are we going to go with something like that? How many trees do we have? Do we just do away with the trees? I mean,
Well, those are all good questions, and maybe we don't decide this tonight. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
no,
we
just-
immediately start with appropriation, and then and leave the tree question out there, because in driving through cities like Manteo, North Carolina, there's nothing looks better than a streetscape with crepe myrtles that They go every
But
so
that's
many.
farther south than we are.
True,
so-
well, and we do have existing crepe myrtles through the
Crepe myrtles
communities.
grow well here, I think, in my opinion. I got one in my backyard, and in my other job, throughout the day, I see them around, and there's several roads that are littered with them, and I'm a crepe myrtle fan,
Yeah.
personally.
Haymarket Station
Add,
does it.
the brick planters as well as like holiday decor and wreaths to that list.
I'm fine with that.
I just
I
want to
just-
keep it open just in case we have money left over. We don't have to like go back and,
Right.
give us the permission to use it for certain
I mean,
things.
how does the whole, like where the crosswalks are, I know some of our crosswalks through, in the center of town, the stamped part of them are in pretty bad disrepair. I mean, where does that come from in our budget, would that be a capital improvement? Would that be VITA?
Yeah.
Do we know?
Yeah, well, I think we do know. I think we actually set aside our maintenance for that. That was one of the items that, when we did our streetscape and when we signed off on the Finley contract, that we took back some of the monies from them that didn't allow them to finish those areas. But we've gotten one estimate. It was pretty high. It was 10 grand, I believe, to go ahead and restamp that. I'd almost see that as a separate item, for actually the brick and mortar. I don't know, in my opinion.
I'm
But
just
I
saying
know
that is the
yeah, it needs to be done.
actual streetscape.
Right.
I mean,
The biggest data that would come from the public works
Right.
section of the
okay,
Yeah,
thank you,
Yeah.
Emily.
okay. Any other thoughts or suggestions to add to, based on accepting this?
On this one, we're talking 21K max.
Yeah.
So who's going to make the decision as to what gets done?
Well, let's see, what do we have here?
We just-
We have two sample motions. Let's see if this actually helps us.
So I think what Emily said is the priority would definitely be making sure that all of the donations that, for the plaques are used for that first. And then we'll see what's left over, and then we can see what needs to be done. And would that be something that's brought back to us, or?
I would say, I would recommend that you guys create a priority list, and then if you want to discuss the trees, let's say that's number 2 on the list, then I suggest maybe we bring it back and pick a tree. I don't know if you want to send that to the ARB, or if council wants to direct it down to the ARB to come up with a tree, so when the time is there, we're ready to act on it. But I would set a priority list, and then we decide for the trees, are we coming back, and who are we coming back?
Or set a
to?
list of what's acceptable to spend it on, and then,
If there's anything outside that scope, then it has to come back.
Deciding body here, so it's what we decide to do.
I just want to make sure we're talking about two different things. Appropriation, the money first,
Right.
21K, and then coming up with a list.
Yeah.
Two separate actions.
Yeah.
So tonight, we're looking at the 21K.
Right.
But who's going to make the decision as to how that's spent? That was my question.
I would think the ARB should have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Is
So-
now planting time for trees, or do we wait till spring? I think that's,
So typically you have 2 planting seasons, one in the fall and one in the spring. We'd have to talk with Premier and see what our planting window is, and it does, I believe, depend on the type of thing you're planting, whether it be a tree or a shrub. So your
I had
meetings-
crepe myrtles planted in our yard last year, and one didn't make it through the winter, so we might
Okay.
want to wait until the
We
spring.
need to consider too, just, of course, Mother Nature doesn't report to us, but they're predicting a pretty harsh winter this year, with snows being as late as March 23rd, our biggest snow of the year. That's what National Weather Service is predicting as of right now. So I think we need to take that in consideration of a pretty harsh winter. I'd hate to spend that money and those trees not make it.
so maybe set the money aside.
Yeah, so why don't we, or with no objection, we'll ask staff, we'll rely on staff to come up with a,
List.
maybe a cost estimate list, and then put certain items that over on the ARB's agenda to look at or consider. But I think the spending of the money should be here at the dais of what, for these funds, but at least get the recommendations for.
So do we
for that.
appropriate the whole amount into, like, the streetscape, and then, I guess that's where I'm kind of, because I
Right,
want
we-
the plaques and everything to be done now. I think that needs to be done.
It's gonna
We
be
waited long
priority.
enough. We
Agree.
really need to make sure that these people are represented.
Is this what the previous mayor brought up?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yes. Matter of
Yeah,
fact, that
so
was one of, the-
to me, that's a
That was-
top priority.
that was one of her hesitations in actually kind of not revitalizing this organization, is because the concern that it would go into just the general fund and then be spent. So we directed the town treasurer to put it in a separate fund, that the draws will be specifically as the dais decides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
So-
to me, that would be the top priority.
Okay.
So staff will come back at the November meeting with a cost estimate list for council.
Okay.
So on that, I think there might be a motion here that we could
We could
actually act
still
on.
make the motion, right, with
Yep.
listing what we do approve the spending on, but that they come to the architectural review board for approval on the spending and what
No,
it's
not
for.
on the design of what you're doing.
Yeah, it would only be the
I
design
think the
aspect.
final approval should be ours, but,
So come
but
back to the town
ARB should,
council for
yeah.
approval on the spending,
But I
and then
would-
an architectural review board on the
Yeah.
design.
I think the ARB it's important to have them involved in that, but the actual final list and expenditure authorization should be, in my opinion, should be the council.
I think if we duplicate what's already been spent, which is already the approved design, so if we're just adding new trash cans, new
Yeah.
park benches, street
Be
lamp,
pretty easy.
or trees, this should be pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do we have the exact number, Roberto, as far as the check, 21 something?
Mayor, it's actually on the expenditure of the month on the historical fund. We set that aside. It's 21,230 with 2 cents.
21,000, I'm sorry?
230 with 2 cents.
Okay.
Right here, okay.
So
I
we
can
could,
make a motion if you're ready.
okay.
Okay. I move the town of Haymarket I move the Haymarket Town Council direct the clerk to prepare a resolution for council approval appropriating an expenditure of $21,230.02 from the distributed funds received from the Haymarket Historic Foundation for the purpose of finishing the plaques for the streetscape infrastructure, including on the lamps and trees and park benches. In addition to that, trees and landscaping, banners, brick planters, holiday wreaths or decor for the streetscape, with the condition that all items are brought to town council for approval of spending, and then brought to the architectural review board for approval of design.
Second.
Okay. Discussion, it sounds like I think we hit all the areas. Everyone would agree? Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Shannon?
Yes.
Leek?
Yes.
Canty?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Cavazos?
Yes.
Day?
Yes.
Okay, what time is it, 8 o'clock? We're going to take maybe a 10-minute recess. We'll reconvene at 8:05. Okay.
For this one, you can go into closed session.
Sorry. I'm gonna hurt you.
is there any new development or anything like that as far as? Okay, we're going to call our meeting back to order. Our next item is action item for mayor's veto. We're on page 40 of the packet. And just to do some background, I'm going to ask the town planner to read the original SUPs, or not the entire SUPs, but just the conditions of the SUPs that we voted on back on September 4th.
Yes. And if council would like to kind of follow along on packet page 7 of this agenda, you'll see the meeting minutes from last month. It's item 10 and 12. And the conditions for the two SUPs were as follows. The storefront of the restaurants shall face Washington Street. All four sides of each restaurant shall be finished to a standard to present aesthetically pleasing facades on all sides. Development shall be in general conformance with the GDP. Same four conditions placed on them. And you'll see that in motion 10 and 12.
Okay, for procedure-wise, with me vetoing on September 5th these resolutions or ordinances, it states in our charter that this matter shall be brought back to the town council at the next meeting for reconsideration or a motion that would override the veto that I did. And at this time, I'll either take discussion, or if we want to go right to it, I'll accept a motion on the floor to override the veto.
I make a motion to override the veto that was signed or dated September 5th, 2018 for SUP 2018-003, SUP 2018-004, Resolution 2018-014, and Resolution 2018-015.
I second the motion.
And seconded by Councilwoman Cavazos. So just so we understand the motion as it would be, this would be to override my veto that I did. And I just hope that there's not a tie vote, because I'm not sure where we go with that. But we'll go ahead and entertain if
It
there's...
has to be a supermajority,
Right,
so.
correct, exactly. So with that, I'll have a roll call vote, please.
Shannon?
Yes.
Lee?
No.
Panthy?
Yes.
Edwards? Cavazos? Day?
Yes.
Okay. So there again, that will take over the veto that I did. So the motion would be as stands as on September 4th. Okay. Our next item is our updates. We have a planning commission.
Mayor, we have not had ours. It's been moved to, I believe, October 29th, so I really have nothing to report at this time.
Okay. Our ARB update.
The Architectural Review Board held its September meeting on September 19th. Some of the items to note were the Verizon building on Madison is requested to put an unmanned shelter in front of their main building, and we approved it with the conditions that it needed to have a brick facade to match the main building and have similar roof detailing and some other items to note. Foster's Grill was approved for outdoor string lighting on their patio. A demolition application was presented for 14801 Washington Street. It did not pass, and the board requested a concept plan to be presented prior to approval. And the ARB decided on a bicycle rack that I think it was the Planning Commission presented. So we decided on one of those.
I'd just like to add that our new bicycle rack is installed and it's secured in place at the park. And we just got our trash cans delivered today. And we'll have our landscaping crew go and put them in place up at the park as well. So we're getting there.
Trash cans with recycling.
Yes, trash with recycling is one of them. And the others is single use.
Great. Okay. Any questions for the ARB? Wonderful. Great. Our next item is our council member time. Councilman Shannon.
Mr. Mayor, I will tell you, and it's Crossroads Village here. Gosh, that's probably the biggest issue that we're dealing with right now, I think, in this town. And we've certainly heard more citizens come that are either opposed or don't like the way it's set up, and I can understand that. What we haven't heard as far as from the dais here are the people that are in favor of it. And I know the folks I've talked to, I've not really found anyone that's adamantly opposed to the project itself. It's just certain parts of it they may not like. But the bottom line is this, I mean, it's going to be built out. We've talked about traffic, things such as that. You know, it's a fact of life. That's going to be built out. We can't stop that. What goes in there, we have X amount that we can say about it, but I think I just heard the one comment that nothing should go in there until, you know, at this point in time or whatever. There's a lot of things that Crossroads project can do for this town, for the residents of this town as well. I will just tell you, I'm excited about it. I'm not excited about additional traffic that we're going to have. And certainly, Councilman Panthy and I are definitely affected living down in Sherwood Forest. But I think the things, the good that's going to come out of that, once it's built, fully functional and going, I think we're going to have some good options for maybe tax breaks, possibly, that I think a lot of people don't think about. And that's very important. It's also very important to think about other things that we may want to do with staffs. The revenue from that, I think, is going to be just really fantastic to help us out. I take great pride in serving on this team right here with this group and with our town staff. It's obvious we can agree to disagree on issues, but I truly think about what Councilman Leek said last time. We can have our discussions, we can have our disagreements on this dais, but when we walk off of this, these type of politics or things does not come between our friendship. I am thankful for that, and I am just certainly proud to serve on this team. That's all I have, sir.
Great. Thank you, sir. Councilman Leek?
I got to concur with Councilman Shannon on that. The beautiful thing about our democracy that we have here is the mere fact that we all are friends. At the end of the day, we don't hold grudges against each other. We don't try to oust one another at the next time somebody wants to do something or another motion. We never try to seek revenge. It's simply we respect the decision that has been made and we move on. And we see how we can work as a team to continue to move forward. And that's the thing that I think that we're so blessed to have at this dais is that we have individual free-thinking minds that vote the way that when they speak with their constituents. And I'm so proud to be at this dais with everyone who sits on here, including you, Lilani, even though you're filling in. We're very blessed to have you fill in for us. I want to thank staff. I mean, we're truly blessed to have staff. My goodness, I mean, between Emily, Roberto, Miss Shelley, Jerry, Miss Jackie, I mean, we have such a great staff that supports us. A lot of time we get the recognition and everything, but what folks don't really realize is that it's the town staff who has helped us to get to that point. And we truly should be passing that recognition off to our town staff. And we're so thankful to have you all be a part of our success. And including that is our boards and our commissions, our ARB board. And Bond, I think you do a phenomenal job with it. And I think you have the most heart and passion at this dais for it, and that's why I'm so proud that I voted for you, and as everyone did, it was a unanimous decision. And I think you do a phenomenal job, and we're so thankful that you take that extra time for another committee to be able to do that. And same thing with Councilman Shannon. we can't thank you all enough for being able to put family time to the side to take on another role and another task to be able to keep us informed and help us to be able to do what's best for this town. So between staff, our liaisons to our other commissions, our other boards and commissions, I mean, we're just so thankful to have everyone. The teamwork that we do is beautiful. There's never biased or amongst anybody. There's never favoritism amongst staff. You never see staff doing one thing for somebody, for a councilman, and something else for somebody else. They work as a team with us, and we're just, again, truly thankful for staff. Again, as we already mentioned, Haymarket Day, we're thankful for that. Some folks who spoke tonight and who didn't speak tonight in the past has raised concerns about different things. The beautiful thing is that you are able to get involved. We have opportunities on our ARP and our PC. Right now, they are at 5 members apiece, but I don't think anybody on this dais would be against maybe raising those back up to 7 to get a nice, diverse thought process from everyone in the community. So folks, instead of not just coming up and speaking at citizens' times, but also want to get involved, we have those opportunities. And I don't want to speak for the rest of the dais, but I think if we had folks put in applications, it's maybe something that we could look at to increase that back up to 7. For the mere reason we shrunk it down to 6 was to be able to meet a quorum. But now that we have that quorum met, we can possibly look at raising it back up to 7. I have no further comments, and I'm thankful for everybody at this dais and the time you give.
Councilman Pence.
I have nothing, everything.
Already said.
You already said.
Okay.
I don't want to repeat those. And I really like to have a work session, prior to meeting all the time. That way it gives us, whatever we talk in there, it comes resolution quicker. And we will have more time to think about, hey, how we will have each other table talk. So that will make much easier.
Vice Mayor.
I agree with Mr. Panthy about the work sessions. I think it's very helpful.
Okay. Councilman Cavasso.
I'd like to thank the police department and the staff and the board. Everybody's doing a great job, and I'm so excited for Haymarket Day. It's going to be great.
Councilman Day.
I just want to say that I know this view isn't shared by everybody, but I just want to really thank Mayor Leek for giving the town council additional time to consider the 2 special use permits for highlighting a list of concerns. I know it was a tough thing to do, and I just, I just want to say thank you for that. That's all I got.
Great. Closing thoughts. As you hear the citizens' comments, you try to understand where they're coming from, where they're obviously speaking from the heart. Sometimes I wonder, it's like, look, we have a full-time staff here. They open at 8:30 in the morning till 4:30, 8 till 4:30. Yeah, till 4:30 in the evening, that available for all those questions that as I heard them, it's like, wait a minute, that could have been answered, that could have been answered, that there should never be any confusion of the direction. Business-friendly walking town was the 2 words that I put on, the signs that when I ran for mayor, and I still believe in that we can be both a walking town and business-friendly. And having people taking their time to be involved with the committees is definitely our future, having more new people come in. So with that said, I think we do have one bit of housekeeping that might need executive session. So with that, if you could bring us in session for some just short items. Yeah.
Town Council for the Town of Haymarket moves to go into executive session under Code of Virginia 2.23711 for the purpose of discussing employment matters as well as a contract involving public property.
Okay. We need a so.
Moved.
Okay. And
Second.
seconded by Councilman Day. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We should be back very shortly. Are back, and I'll have our attorney bring us back into session. Oh, we are missing one, apologies. Why don't you go ahead, Olan, and bring us back into closed session?
Sure. Council moves to adjourn executive session and moves to resume open session. Council confirms that the only matters that were discussed in closed session were allowable by 2.2, Code of Virginia 2.2, 3711.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Shannon?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Hampi?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Edwards?
Yes.
Cavazos? Yes. Day.
Yes.
Okay, the most important motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you all for listening.
Check